Oh boy, another one. That's right, I'm back with the third Rowley book review. So I did 2 previous reviews as well for the other 2 books. The first one's right here. Overall with this book, I actually don't hate it. At first, I did hate it a lot, but now I've actually grown to like it a little bit, actually, surprisingly. The sequel I made a review on, and I really didn't like it that much. It just felt like one big useless story that you don't care about. Repetitive jokes, just stupid characters, stuff like that. But now, Jeff Kinney has released a 3rd one, and it's called Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Awesome, Friendly, Spooky Stories or something. Why do the titles always gotta be so long? To get this book, I had to first go to Barnes & Noble, and you know how it is, I did the normal stuff, walked in, got the book, looked around a little bit.
You guys excited to get it?
No.
Yeah!
No.
Yeah!
This book sucks ass.
You know what's even better than Wimpy Kid? Book talk! Alright, we're about to pay.
Left the place.
Guys, look what came with it!
Tattoos!
Wait, what? The wrong book on the back.
What?
This thing's cheap!
Honestly, I liked when the last one came with this. It required less effort. But fine, I'll put one of these on. There you go, I put 2 on. And I'm actually curious, because they did say it was glow in the dark, so let's see if it is right now. These things don't glow in the dark for poop. Oh my goodness! I'm just kidding, I don't even know the answer. I'm gonna film that later. Now it's time for the review of the Rowley 3. On the back it says, scare yourself silly. Yeah, I'm gonna scare myself with how bad this book is. I'm just kidding, calm down, hold on. So when you open up to the front page it says, boo! Oh, that was scary. Did that scare you? Yes. If it did, maybe you should put this book down and pick something else that's a little less scary. Alright, fine by me. Oh wait, I need views actually. Where were we? So pretty much that's the beginning, and after that, it's like a bunch of little scary stories throughout this book. Now, when I heard that that was the concept, it was kind of weird at first. The other 2 is about Rowley and his journey, about whatever, he's writing stuff. This one barely has Rowley in it at all, and it's kind of just like his spooky stories throughout. It's 14 different stories about different people. So what I'll be doing throughout this video is going through each story one at a time until we get to the end. So with that being said, let's start off with the first story. The first story is pretty much about a boy. He turns into a werewolf, but he doesn't know. His parents tell him, and then in the end, they're happy to be werewolves. Yeah, if you're thinking, is there anything more? No. You know, that's actually it. So, we're starting off kind of weak here. But do you see what I mean? It's a completely different character, nothing to do with Rowley. Then we have the second story. It's about a guy that pranks a lot, and in the end, the town pranks him by believing that he's dead. Pretty typical, overused, nothing really special. Like, in the end, he's like, oh my god, am I dead? And then he finds out he's not. But the one part at the end, when they start going to his funeral, I was kind of crying a little bit. Alright, then we got the third story. This one was kind of interesting. These 2 guys are best friends. I mean, they pretty much look identical to Rowley and Greg, but whatever. One of them turns into a ghost and he starts bothering them. But in the end, they learn how to live with each other, and in the end, they're happy. I kind of like this one. It was just Greg as a ghost and he bothers Rowley. Nothing too crazy to talk about, but it was kind of funny. But on this page, it says that he can't touch anything, but in the next picture, he's sitting on the bed. That's it. This book is lazy. I'm done. Oh, we still have like 10 stories left. Alright. Fourth story. The fourth one's about a girl who can't stop biting stuff. The doctors think she's a vampire. Then they go back and she's actually not a vampire. So they just learn to live with her. And everyone in the town loves her, I guess. Another really boring one. And really, that's it. I mean, the whole story is her biting stuff. What else can I say? I want to make this video longer, but there is literally nothing else to say. Hey, I think I've seen that image before. Oh yeah, Jake Paul. I guess Jeff Kinney's kids watch Jake Paul or something. Fifth story. So it's about this one guy that's a head and this other guy that's just a body. They both like this girl, so they kind of connect as one. Then his head falls off, so the girl just goes with the guy with the head, and they have a family in the end. So, no head? Or maybe so. How did they have kids? Please tell me how that worked. I guess they just called up the baby place and one came from the sky. I don't know. Isn't that how babies are made? It sounds just as crazy as I write it. I don't even know. This girl's dating a guy with no head, and here I am all alone. On to the sixth story. So in this story, they go through this like airport security thing. All the people turn to skeletons. They love it, and then they want to turn back. So they do. I mean, really, I wish there was more to say, but that's the whole story. They even have emojis in this one. Wait, poop emoji? 7th story. This one I actually did kind of like. It's about a boy who grows up in this poor place, or so he thinks, and in the end he actually realizes that they have computers and stuff right down in the basement. And the reason why their parents did it is because they wanted them away from technology or whatever. I have to admit though, I kind of do like the twist in this story. Kind of felt like Twilight Zone a little bit. Alright, let's just move on to the 8th story. So in this one, there's just a grandmom, none of the family likes her or invites her, and then finally they realize they do, and in the end she actually dies. But it's another twist ending. In the story, they actually get the grandma when she's sleeping and they bury her alive because they think she's dead. She comes back to life and she makes these fake eyeballs when she's sleeping so it always looks like she's awake. But when they actually start inviting her to stuff, they bring her on the roller coaster and I guess she dies on it. But because she has the fake eyes in, they thought she was alive the whole time. So I have to say, I do like that twist ending. I was a fan of that. This was probably one of my favorite stories in this book. But it has nothing to do with Rowley or Greg. Like, they're good on their own, but related to Wimpy Kid, it's like, you don't even know what you're reading. 9th story. So in this one, the dad gives him money to buy ice cream, the kid drops one so he lies about it, and the lie starts growing into a bigger lie, and eventually he tells the truth. That was pretty much the lesson in this, just tell the truth. Nothing scary at all, even though that is the title of this whole book, but, you know. Another weak one, really nothing, kind of just boring, not too interested in it. 10th story. Now this one was a good one. So these guys find a mummy and they put him out in public and the mummy starts destroying everything. So they get another mummy and this one's friendly. He starts getting famous on TV, has movies, all this stuff. And the original mummy can't find anything to do in life, so he just sits home and watches movies. The other mummy starts to lose fame and they end up both living with each other and just watching films. It was interesting. This one was good and I actually liked this one a lot. But nothing to do with Wimpy Kid. The 11th story. You have this mad scientist and he loves to create stuff, so he builds this Frankenstein type thing. Now he has this Frankenstein as a friend. He dies and the Frankenstein's still alive. And in the end, the Frankenstein actually ends up bringing back his friend. I like the twist ending, and I have to admit they are getting better. The stories in the beginning were kind of short and bad, but as you go, they get better with some bad ones in there. 12th story. This one's kind of like a reverse parody of Big. There's this boy, he loves looking around. He ends up getting this medicine that makes him go back to a baby. He has to learn to live with it and he ends up going home and he finds out his parents actually use it too. And in the end, they learn to love each other. Interesting, I liked it, but nothing really special. The 13th story. So there's this nice city, mummies destroyed, they welcome him in, and then the people actually end up liking the zombies just as much as themselves. And then aliens come and they think the same thing will happen where they're all happy, but the aliens end up killing the people. That's it, the aliens just take over. Didn't really like this one that much either. Like, it was kind of funny, but just stupid. And the whole thing just kind of went on for a little too long for me. But that leads us to our last story, number 14. So this one is actually with Greg and Rowley. It's the only story to relate to them at all, because if they weren't in this book at all, it wouldn't even be like anything Wimpy Kid. Greg comes over to Rowley's and they play a scary movie. Greg turns into the demon, goes crazy, and then Rowley turns him back to normal. So there you go, that's pretty much a recap of this whole book. Very different from these two, but it's actually weird because I ended up liking this one more than the second one. But the main problem with it is, if you don't know Wimpy Kid or Rowley, you'll have no idea who those characters are. So if I were to rank them, it would be this one's my favorite, the first one. I actually do enjoy it. Then this one with the different stories, even though it had nothing really to do with Rowley. On its own, I actually found it to be more interesting than this one, which is my least favorite. Well, there you go. The review finally came out, but this review would not be complete unless if we destroy this book. But how can we do it? I mean, spooky stuff relates to Halloween, right? And people wear costumes on Halloween, and people go out as Star Wars characters on Halloween as their Halloween costume. And with a Star Wars character, there's lightsabers. We're destroying it with a lightsaber. But wait, I don't have one. I know someone that does. You know why I'm here.
I know why you're here.
For this puzzle! No, the lightsaber.
Oh, you mean this?
This will do. Jeff, make a better book.
Also, how do I take these stupid tattoos off?
Affection